In the frostbitten winter of 1978, on the cracked sidewalks of Boston's Roxbury neighborhood, a group of boys huddled for warmth, their breath visible in the icy air. They weren't just sharing body heat, they were harmonizing. Bobby Brown, barely 9 years old, led the makeshift choir with a raspy voice far older than his years. Beside him, Ricky Bell and Michael Bivins stomped their worn sneakers to keep rhythm, while Ralph Tresvant, the quiet one, closed his eyes and let his velvet vocals rise above the noise. Ronnie DeVoe, the youngest, clapped along, his rhythm sharp even then. This was survival, not just of the cold, but of the soul. Their voices were a lifeline out of poverty, a ticket away from the gangs, drugs, and dead ends that swallowed so many in their neighborhood. Little did they know their bond would forge one of the greatest R&B groups in history, and their brotherhood would shatter under the weight of fame, greed, and betrayal. The story of New Edition begins not in a recording studio, but in the rubble of Roxbury's Orchard Park projects. Bobby Brown, the de facto leader even as a child, was a ball of restless energy. His mother, Carol, worked double shifts as a substitute teacher, battling addiction in secret. Bobby's escape? Music. He'd belt out James Brown routines on street corners, coins clinking into a hat. Ricky Bell, his neighbor, joined him, a gentle giant with a voice like molasses. Ricky's family of 8 shared a 2-bedroom apartment, his mother cleaning offices at night. Music wasn't a dream, it was a lifeline. Then came Michael Bivins, a wiry kid with a knack for business, even at 10. He sold candy on school buses, saving every penny. When he heard Bobby and Ricky harmonizing, he saw dollar signs. "Y'all could be the next Jackson 5, he declared, recruiting Ralph Tresvant, a shy prodigy whose voice could melt steel. Ralph's father, a strict disciplinarian, forbade music, so Ralph sneaked out to sing, risking beatings for his art. Ronnie DeVoe, the youngest, rounded out the group. His uncle, a jazz drummer, taught him rhythm on soup cans. Their first gig, a middle school talent show in 1979. Bobby forgot the lyrics to The Temptations' My Girl mid-performance. Panicking, he backflipped off the stage. The crowd erupted. It was raw, unpolished, and unforgettable. Enter Morris Starr, a slick-haired producer with a silver tongue. He'd heard the boys' demo, a shaky recording of Is This the End, and smelled opportunity. Starr promised stardom, but his contract was a predator's blueprint. The boys' parents, desperate to give their children a future, signed without lawyers. The deal? Starr's label, Streetwise Records, would own everything. Their name, image, and royalties in exchange for 50 cents per album sold. Their 1983 debut, Candy Girl, was a bubblegum explosion. The title track soared to #1 on R&B charts. But when the first royalty checks arrived, the boys stared in horror. $1.87 each. Starr had deducted expenses, studio time, choreography, even their matching outfits. "You're lucky I don't charge you for breathing," he sneered. The betrayal cut deep. At 15, they were millionaires on paper, but paupers in reality. Michael Bivins, ever the strategist, urged rebellion. "We fire him," he said. But Starr had a backup plan. New Kids on the Block, a whitewashed replica. The message was clear: you're replaceable. Bobby Brown chafed under New Edition's squeaky clean image. While the group lip-synced to Cool It Now on Soul Train, Bobby sneaked cigarettes backstage, flirting with dancers. "We're puppets," he'd mutter. His breaking point? A 1985 concert in Detroit. Mid-show, Bobby ripped off his sequined blazer, hurling it into the crowd. "Y'all want to see real music?" he shouted, grinding provocatively. The crowd cheered. The bandmates seethed. Backstage, Michael Bivins confronted him. "You're embarrassing us," Bobby spat. "I'm the only one keeping us relevant." The final straw came during a Count Me Out video shoot. Bobby refused to wear the preppy sweater vest, showing up in a leather jacket. Producers threatened fines. Bobby stormed off. That night, the group voted unanimously. Bobby was out. Alone and angry, Bobby signed with MCA. His 1986 debut, King of Stage, flopped. New Edition gloated. But in 1988, Bobby returned with Don't Be Cruel, a sonic Molotov cocktail. Tracks like My Prerogative and every little step fused R&B with hip-hop swagger. The album sold 7 million copies. At the 1989 Soul Train Awards, Bobby swaggered past New Edition's table, dripping in gold. Ronnie accidentally spilled champagne on his suit. Bobby lunged. Security intervened. "You jealous?" Bobby taunted. The divide was now a chasm. By 1996, New Edition's reunion seemed miraculous. Home Again debuted at #1, but behind the curtain, Ricky Bell was unraveling. Ricky's addiction began innocently, a Vicodin prescription after knee surgery. Soon, he was mixing pills with vodka, then cocaine. At a 1996 studio session, he passed out mid-verse. Producer Jimmy Jam revived him with ice water. "I'm fine," Ricky slurred. He wasn't. His wife, Amy, staged an intervention in 1997. "I found him in the bathroom," she wept. "Needle in his arm, our baby crying in the next room." Ricky sold his Grammy plaques for drug money. "I was a ghost," he later admitted. Bobby's marriage to Whitney Houston was a tabloid circus. Their reality show, Being Bobby Brown, exposed crack binges and violent fights. During the Home Again tour, Bobby often missed soundcheck, holed up in hotel rooms with Whitney. July 4th, 1997, Columbus, Ohio. Midway through If It Isn't Love, Bobby taunted Ronnie. "Your girl's texting me, bro!" Ronnie charged, tackling him. Ralph tossed his mic, fleeing the stage. Fans laughed, thinking it staged, until the curtain dropped, revealing security wrestling Ronnie. Days later, gunshots rang out near Bobby's tour bus in St. Louis. A deranged fan, angry over canceled meet and greets, fired into the air. The tour collapsed. New Edition's reunion died in a haze of gunpowder and regret. 2017's The New Edition story should have been their redemption. Instead, it exposed old wounds. Unbeknownst to the group, Ralph Tresvant and Johnny Gill trademarked New Edition in 2015. Their logic? To protect the brand. The others saw it as theft. At a 2018 meeting, Ricky Bell erupted. "We bled for this! You think you're better because you stayed sober?" Johnny, the replacement, who joined in 1987, shot back. "You think Bobby's chaos didn't almost kill us all?" Bobby took to Instagram, posting a screenshot of the trademark filing. Grave robbers, fans split into camps. Team RBRM, Ricky, Bobby, Ronnie, Mike, trended alongside Mosh Team Ralph and Johnny. In 2022, facing canceled tours, the group settled. The trademark was split 6 ways, but trust irreparable. The Encore Theater glitters like a mirage. Sold-out crowds scream for New Edition, but backstage, Bobby Brown leans on a cane, diabetic neuropathy gnawing his legs. Night 1. Bobby misses a cue in Mr. Telephone Man. Ralph covers with a joke. "Bobby's still chasing Whitney's ghost." The crowd laughs. Bobby's eyes flash fury. Night 2. During Can You Stand the Rain, Johnny discreetly takes Bobby's high note. Bobby mouths thank you, a moment of humility. After the encore, Ronnie confronts Ralph. "Why'd you trademark it?" Ralph's reply, "To save us from becoming a trivia question." Today, the boys of Orchard Park are men in their 50s, haunted by what they built and what they burned. Bobby's voice is a whisper. Ricky's hands tremble. Yet when the spotlight hits, they harmonize like it's 1979. Because New Edition isn't a group, it's a ghost story, a phantom of brotherhood that lingers in every chord, every step, every shattered promise. And as the Vegas lights dim, one truth remains. The music survives. The brotherhood? That's a requiem.